Hello everyone. We will start 3 minutes lab. We will. I'm Indradev. I'm hosting for this season. Uh, Closing session from East. So we have an interpreter from Indonesia. Uh, Maya over there maybe can explain about how to choose the interpreter.
Your volume was not very high, Indradev. I checked on my settings, so I'm wondering whether my volume is okay as I'm presenting.
Sorry, Marcus. Yeah. Very welcome, everyone.
That's better. That's much better.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus.
Thank
Hello,
you.
welcoming back to this conference. This is the last day. This is the
It
ending
is.
of yeah. This
And
is
it's
the
been a
ending of
huge effort.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the two interpreters. So one is already logged in as the Maya. So let me share the screen for interpretation.
Okay.
Everyone from Indonesia, you can do
Enjoy
this.
the interpretation.
Yes.
My language. Good luck, Maya.
Please, Maya, maybe you can explain from bahasa.
Namaskar, selamat sore. Bagi teman-teman yang ingin mendengarkan sesi ini melalui bahasa Indonesia, silakan merubah nama menjadi bahasa, lalu underscore dan nama Anda, supaya bisa mendengarkan interpretasi dalam bahasa Indonesia. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Ibu Maya. Yes. Maybe we can starting now. Please go ahead.
Yep, I will go ahead. So here we are at the end of 4 days. It's been an incredible journey. And I think we all deserve to congratulate ourselves. But before I go any further, I should introduce myself. My name's Marcus Bussey. I work at the University of the Sunshine Coast, and it's been an honour and a delight for me to host this session, but a number of other sessions, including the opening session at this conference. It's just been one of those conferences that's like a kaleidoscope, just filled with wide variety of possible journeys that we can take. And I do think that this idea of a journey or a pilgrimage, as Sahel and Ayatollah explained it at the beginning of, in what I think it was in his first talk, this idea of a pilgrimage is kind of like what we're on, actually. We are discovering the world anew through the lens of neo-humanism. I also want to say that this has been a truly global conference. There are so many people to thank for making this conference happen. It's a cast of thousands, and I'd like to start sharing my screen so that I can illustrate this to you. So, yeah, so here we go. It's going to be another one. So what we have here is a little bit of fun, just to say thank you to all of those incredible people who have worked so hard to help this conference get off the ground. Oops, hang on. I have to go back. I haven't given sound. I always forget to do that.
Yes, I can help, Marcus.
You can
if
help?
you want. Yeah,
No,
I can help.
Okay, let's go back to it and then I'll start again. So I'm going to click on this and
You want to play the video? So I
yes,
already
this is the
downloaded it.
cast of thousands that
This
constitute those people in the
People here?
background.
This is too small. Maybe I
Are
can
you?
help.
Yep. Okay, I'll stop sharing and you can share it. Here we are, looking at this beauty. Look at this. This is the cast of thousands that constitute those people in the background making a difference, helping in one way or another to get this conference to you. Building the structures, holding the spaces, envisioning, catching up with people in their networks, cajoling, supporting one another during crises, of which there are always a number behind the scene, quite a few. Let's scroll up here. Okay, so it's just a wonderful way of capturing all those people, and that's often a lot of you guys who are listening, because this is the last session for the East. You know, we just want to say a big thank you. Really appreciated. Yep. Thanks so much. And look forward to doing it again, this time next year sometime. Whoa! I just love playing around with this. I love things that move. Whoa. Okay, that's enough. Thank you. Thank you, Indra Dave. Much appreciated. So you can hang on. I'll come back to, there are a couple of other slides there, aren't there, for us to look at. So I want to thank people like Indra Dave for their commitment. It demonstrates a devotion to neo-humanist futures, I think, that we can be proud of. Because as I reminded people in our first session, we are ancestors of the future, right? You know, and we need to take that seriously, but not as a heavy burden, but as an incentive for actually doing what we can in our own way right now and into the future. Indeed, you, the attendees, I have to acknowledge your stamina in attending so many, 31, we're number 32, right? So I'm not sure how many you attended, but I know that whenever I dropped in, the same people were sometimes there, and I thought, wow, because I managed to sit in for about a third of the presentations. So, you know, this is important to recognise that your stamina demonstrates also your devotion to the quest, I guess, for new possible ways of approaching the global crises that we face today and that we will continue to face into the future. I want to remind you that you can also visit our Neo-Humanist Conference networking page, which I just checked it out earlier today, and it's quite full, but there's a lot of opportunity for you to connect with other people who've attended the conference there, okay? There are people from all over the world, and so Indra, if you could share the next slide on that PowerPoint, that would be great. Just want to look at that because it's so impressive to see there are over 800 people, and not 800 people who put themselves on the PowerPoint, but at the same time, it is worth acknowledging. You got that, Indra Dave, or should I try? Indra Dave, I've lost you, I think, so I'll try to share it myself.
Yes.
That's okay. Here we go. I'm a big boy. I can manage this too. So there we have this global map. It gives us some sense of where people are attending this conference. Many of them will be in the Western hemisphere, but there are plenty of us over here in the East. And it's a privilege to know that there are people all over the world who are keen on the kind of futures that we are. And again, I want to celebrate you in this onward journey that we are engaging in. Just pull out of that for a moment so that I can keep reading my notes. Okay. But I want to remind you, it's really important as we close this session, to remind you that values do change. And I want to share with you now an amazing advertisement which came out in 1962. And it's an advertisement from a company called Humble Oil, which still operate today. And it says, each day, Humble Oil supplies enough energy to melt 7 million tons of glacier, exclamation mark. And this is something to be proud of in 1962. The irony, of course, is that today we are very much aware, keenly aware of the melting of the ice caps, of the impact that's going to have on many peoples, but animals, on the water, sea level rising, and other things that we still can't quite fathom. For instance, the release of the microbes and possible viruses that are embedded in the frozen tundras of North and South hemispheres. So this is something that I think we need to take very seriously, but we can also learn from it. We can learn from what was of value in one stage of our recent history has suddenly become totally paradoxical. This doesn't make sense in the world that we are now currently navigating. So I guess what I need to say now is that neo-humanism is a cultural movement that enables us to engage with the world with heart and our head in balance. This inner and outer world is important to work with. The spiritual roots of neo-humanism take us deep into our connection with the entire universe. This means that solutions are long-term, and we need to think of them as responses to the planetary crises that we face today. And the multitude of presentations that we've experienced over the last few days and shared in demonstrate that. So only long-term responses are sustainable. Neo-humanism, therefore, is a philosophy and it's also a practice with roots deep in the past. If we think of Didi and under Rama's presentation, or Justin Hewittson's presentation in the two history talks that were given, those of you who attended would know that we're going back thousands and thousands of years into the tantric practices. As this conference has admirably demonstrated, though, neo-humanism deals with both the rational and also a devotional aspect. And I want to touch on that a bit more in this concluding session, because it's the devotional aspect, I think, that keeps us true to a neo-humanist vision. And I'll explain why. Because all theories and ideologies start with the assumption about the nature of reality and how it works. And these theories and ideologies are devoted to a method, a way of making sense of the world. Okay? All theories and ideologies provide meaning and purpose and identity to those who follow them. And all followers see the rules of that system as making sense, as rational. So you can be rational as a capitalist, to make profit, to measure your successes through profit making, through expansion of a business model, through growth. It makes sense to a capitalist, but it doesn't necessarily make sense to people who stand outside and see the effects of that reasoning upon the planet and upon its peoples and its wildlife and the entire eco and ecological systems of the planet. And so I'd like to say that all followers are devoted to their method. They're often devoted to a founder or a central figure who's paved the way and established rules and practices. So we can think in terms of the devotion that scientists have to the scientific method, to their own discipline. It might be chemistry or physics and so on, or it might be more mechanical and engineering-like. And they will look back to people like Archimedes and Aristotle, or more recently to people like Isaac Newton And these people are heroes. If you're a feminist and you're working as a scientist, you will look back to people like Marie Curie, who was working on radium and died as a result from cancer and so on. But these people you see as exemplars, and we look back to them with devotion, and we seek to follow in their steps. So indeed, those who follow are devoted to their practices of their path. As scientific method, as a scientist, I'm an historian and a futurist, and I'm very much aware that my values are built around how do we construct truth? What does it mean to speak about truth? And we've come across many truth pathways in this conference of ours. So I sort of wrap all that up. So there's a sentiment and an attachment, and we're attached. Those who presented particularly are attached, but many of you who are listening have maybe spent many years looking at neo-humanism and thinking about it and asking yourself questions about how do we live it, how do we practice it. The same thing goes for Prout, which is like the socioeconomic side of the neo-humanist vision. So we have a sentiment for this, and we grow and nurture our sentiment by coming together to work together as we've done, and as that map that we've displayed shows. Neo-humanism wants to see positive effects in the world, okay? Because the only way we can really assess any method and its value is by its effects on the planet. So we can see that capitalism has brought many people out of poverty, but it's also sunk others into poverty and misery. We can see that the scientific method has seen the world in a remarkable and wondrous way, but it often overlooks the spiritual. So we can see, therefore, that the scientific method often gets used to manage and manipulate nature rather than seeing, well, how do we collaborate with nature? How do we co-create a world where nature and human beings and their societies can live in some form of harmony? So these are the sorts of questions that start arising as we take a look then at the world through a neo-humanist lens. So we've had talks on economics and energy, justice, sustainability, food, yoga, the arts and aesthetics, history, social organisation and education, futures and so on. So I'd like to share one more slide with you here now, which we'll move to, and just to give sort of capture that. So I took a snapshot, summarised the presentations just to sort of say, okay, here's a slice of the conference. It's not entirely all 33 sessions, but it's the majority of the sessions captured here. And we can see what a variety of areas that neo-humanism is working in. And it's truly an inspiring vision for humanity. And that, you know, we have places like the Neo-Humanist College in Asheville, in North Carolina, in the US, starting to envisage a way to actually promote that beyond the, I guess, the narrow borders of a world that was pre-COVID, locked down, and we had to do things face-to-face most of the time. Gurukul itself is the canopy that actually supplies meaning and also purpose and provides opportunities for us all to gather, because we need to gather together, because individuals on their own, you know, are vulnerable, and we often can lose track of where we're going and lose sight of what's happening for us next. So that to me is a really important thing to highlight now. So I'm going to jump out of that, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen and take a breath for a moment and start thinking about, well, what next are we going to do? Where are we headed in all of this? And for me, that's a big question. Now, I want to remind people that while we're going through this process and the final session, that you can always use chat and put things into chat that are going to become, become points that we can actually work from. I'm just trying to find where I am. Here we go. So we've already got 6 comments in chat. I'm just going to quickly dive in there just to see if there's anything there. So Dada Shambhu Shivananda has very kindly welcomed people to the closing session. Climate change is there in capital letters from Arison. Yes, it's a really big deal, isn't it? Absolutely. Okay. So next to move on, I would like to take the honour and privilege of introducing to you Professor Suhail Inayatullah. Suhail has been a leading figure in thinking about the applications of neo-humanism for many decades now. His PhD was actually done in the 1980s, looking at the work of Prabhat Ranjan Sarkar, particularly the social cycles, and making sense of his work as through a macro historical lens. Suhail he's the UNESCO Professor of Futures. He's working with many people and many institutions globally to make a difference. And he has very kindly made a recording for us, and he should be joining us quite soon. He will then be popping in to answer some questions should they arise. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Indradev, to actually screen Suhail's presentation for the final session, and then we can have a discussion. Thank you so much, Indradev. No sound at the moment.
On creating pathways. Thank you very much for this invitation to speak in the final session on creating pathways to new humanistic education. I would like to share my work. It's titled A Castle Surrounded by Hungry Wolves, Stages and Steps to Change. I use a stage theory approach to think about the future and strategy. These are soft stages. No hierarchy is implied by latter and former stages. This is a response to the work of Professor Cynthia Salen, where she says the role of policymaking and strategy, particularly those of us who wish to intervene and create a better future, is to meet people where they are at. So where are they at? That becomes my question. The framework for this is the work of Sri P.R. Sarkar, who suggests we go deeper and deeper in terms of how we see the world. We take a subjective approach and objectively adjust. I also use the work of Esther Hicks, who suggests that we cannot go from injustice straight to bliss. There's intervening stages. Going from disempowerment, moving towards anxiety, anger, moving up the scale. Whether we agree or disagree with the exact components of the scale, the main notion is that there's stages of transformation. In my work, this is the continuum of futures. Stage 1 is unfair, it's not right. They won't give me the bread I'm owed. They took it all. Stage 2 is now I have the bread, I have to stay vigilant that people don't take my bread from me. I need tools and methods to hold on to what I have. Stage 3 is, well, what's the future of what I have? Will it transform? We use scenarios, CLA or causal alert analysis. Am I thinking too narrowly about bread? What are some other sources of food and happiness? This moves to stage 4, where do I wish to be? What does success look like? What's my new vision? This is more than bread. Stage 5 is, how do I make this vision real today? How do I empower myself and others? How do I ensure there's bread for all? Finally, is there a story that supports this process from the bread to bliss continuum, as it were? And ultimately, we look for the mantra that transforms, that creates the new emergent future. This is a simple 7-stage work, and I'll take you through them. Stage 1, it's unfair, it's not right. The world capitalist system creates anxiety. My personal system, I was born in the wrong country, for example. For this work, what I've seen is when I worked with war veterans, they didn't want a new future. They said, I want my past returned. Many people who feel they've missed out on opportunities, as we're seeing with cellular agriculture, if only I had made the jump earlier to innovation. This is the world of injustice. There's no justice in the world. There's some justice. The world is just. So this is perceived injustice. And of course, in the objective world, we know the eye-popping data that the top 1% has gained 21 trillion in wealth since 1989, while the bottom half has lost 900 billion. So it's unfair makes sense to many people on the planet. How do we get out of phase one? Well, first, I suggest find a theory of macro history, where Sri Sarkar's cycle stages, moving towards Sadviprahood, or activism, change what you can, find your zone of influence, or create the new image, your new image of the future. Work we've done with indigenous peoples is started out with, if we do nothing, we will die out. The status quo is a struggling snail. If we reform our strategy, our numbers and powers are increasing. The best case, self-governance. And finally, the outlier, we actually frame the debate. So we've done this work with indigenous peoples. The result isn't a technical solution, it's inner and outer transformation. Work I've done with Jenny Bryce many years ago was you need to find the 10% who wish change. If you're angry, find the 10% who wish change. 30% who are asleep, wake them up. Find 30% who are possible carriers of the new vision of the future, work with them, inspire them, excite them. There will always be resistors. You can quarantine them. Or the late Patricia Kelly, she says, actually, find out not that they're resistors, what are they resisting? What are the points of resistance, and work with them to create a global transformation. Her PhD is brilliant on this subject. We know from a recent article in Science, you need 25% of an organization, then large-scale social change can occur. So we don't have to change everyone or everything. You need the key leverage points, persons, in systems, and you work with them for the change. The second part of this, how do you manage the risk? As we're creating humanist education, the Gurukul transformation, there's always risks out there. So we have to anticipate what's coming down the road. For example, the metaphor we've used with schools has been the storm warning. See the future as a possible storm warning. Be ready for these transformations, as in climate change. How do you minimize despair? How do you create best practices to anticipate the worst and create the best? We know there's things like YouTube University challenging education, the doctorate in conspiracy theory in medical studies, for example. So anticipatory has become more peer-to-peer oriented, more technology, then of course things can go bad. People need a checklist, a humanistic checklist to help them on their way. As the world shifts dramatically from fossil fuel to solar, from the meat era to cellular agriculture, from nation states to global governance, from gendered hierarchy to partnership, there will be a dramatic shift, but the Stone Age did not end for lack of stone. Those attitudes, people who adhere to those values will still be there, but their era has ended. There's what's called an epistemic shift. The third phase, as we're going on this journey for transformation, what are the alternatives? We need to understand what the alternative futures are. Is Gurukul the only future, or are there other futures out there? Once we start to understand these futures, we can enhance our strategy, enhance the global movement. Work I've done with a number of nations, we've looked at the data in terms of the impact of artificial intelligence on jobs. Scenario one is we keep on doing what we've always done, for teaching for jobs that no longer exist. Some policymakers said we don't want to do that. So what's the next phase? That's often a marginal change, a bit more technology, maybe learn Mandarin or English, but we're always catching up then. Adaptive change is far more transformational. This could be how well do you get along with your green robot? Peer-to-peer learning, working with artificial intelligence, making sure nature's included in all our decision making. So this is adaptive to the new technologies, the new deep culture emerging in the world. But of course, Gurukul Unionism wished to move towards radical change, scenario 4. This is a world clearly after jobs, as Sri Sarkar has said many times, working only a few hours per day. For that, we need technology for all as the worldview. We have to ensure access to technology and have a measurement system of people, planet, prosperity, and purpose. These scenarios help us think about alternatives. Work we've done with the Ministry of Education in Malaysia, for example, alternative 1 is force-feed traditional education. Alternative 2 is some virtual, some face-to-face, omnivore. Scenario 3 is the nutritious buffet, wisdom of choice, ethical values involved, directed partnerships, wholesome education, education that's purposeful. Of course, we know many students want this to go further, self-directed, democratization, eat all you can. So this is the outlay of 4 possible educational futures. Which one will it be? We don't know. Clearly for Gurukul, we want nutritious buffet plus a possibility of self-directed or learning. Of course, as a joke, we don't want eat all you can because we want people to also perhaps fast once in a while. The 4th stage is directionality. We've looked at alternatives. Where do you wish to go? What's the desired future? What's the vision? Work that came out in the magazine Renaissance Universal in the mid-1970s suggested a new global image is emerging, the image of what it means to be human, far more gender cooperation, nature-driven, spirit-driven. But the new image is ahead of reality. Reality is geopolitics, administrative headaches, ego, geosentiment. We're still focused on our nationality, on our religion. So there's an emerging image of the future, and there's a reality, and there's a lag. The vision is about creating the new future. Again, as Sri P.R. Sarkar has said, the dream of today will become the reality of tomorrow. So be clear on your dreams. Live the dream, speak the dream, work the dream. I was working with Brisbane many years ago. We were trying to imagine Brisbane 2026. And you can see this image there. Is this the image we want? You can see what's missing there, putting on our critical hat. Where are the people? Then we ask an 11-year-old, Ashley. She imagines to Brisbane 2070. Look at her clarity. She's in the picture. There's technology with nature. There's people. There's co-evolution going on here. So as we imagine the future, it's not just which future we want, but who's included in this imagining. Working with Brisbane Grammar School, they were very clear. We have to challenge the industrial model of education. We have to create flexibility and well-being. We don't teach by subjects, we teach by global problems, climate change, global governance, gender cooperation, learning from the indigenous, and learning from the future. It's a hybrid model. Finally, we know there's evil practices in the external world. As the zombies metaphorically attack, we have to protect the weak and innovate to grow. I worked with BRAC in Bangladesh. They were clear, we want the global student, focused on social justice, using new technologies, but connected to citizens, connected to history. So this became the vision of the future of the university and their schooling system. Now, visioning, of course, is part of long-term planning. As I've suggested, the vision to reality. It's creative. But there's also some visioning is done that's neither vision nor reality. It's merely fantasy because people don't wish to move forward. Visioning to succeed must be personalized, must be felt, and operationalized through action learning and implementation. This leads to how do we get there? What are some plausible ways to get there? I use 4 methods: backcasting, action learning, CLA, and inner work. Backcasting is we imagine the future and go backwards. We learn not from the past or the present, even if we're mindful. We learn from the future we wish for and imagine what happened before. With this university, we went to 2037 and said, what has to happen the last 20 years to get there? Clearly, they got 2020 correctly, the virtual classroom. We also use CLA as a methodology, the headlines, the system, the culture, and the metaphor. Each one is nested. Most people only focus on headlines, forgetting systemic causes. What caused the headline? Why is there poverty? Some people forget that underneath the systemic causes, injustice, access to capital, there's worldviews, ways of thinking, and finally, at the deepest level, our core metaphors and stories. To transform the world, we change our measurements, we change our systems, we change the culture, and we change the story. For example, work we've done with Edmund Rice Education, they said we need to move from the generic suit to the tailor-made suit. Our culture has to shift from worldview of recall and strive for results to knowledge that is useful and adaptive. Our system is still segregated by status and gender. It's restricted. It's by age grade. We have to change it to students control the learning journey. Increasing access globally to education. It's the drive to learn. And we have to change our headlines, how we measure success. Not just grades, but how relevant and adaptable is our work. So if you look at this, from the generic suit to the form-fitted suit, that's tailor-made, personalized education. Working with the PRC, a similar process occurred. The current metaphor is a dragon bounded by the Great Wall. It's only about the job. It's compulsory. It's copy-paste. It's institutionalized. Will that succeed? Of course it won't. For PRC to be part of the global solution, must have multiple approaches to education. Must be flexible and diversified. Students need different pathways based on who they are, their skill sets. It can't just be about the job. It's about learning tools about self, the world, and the future. It's a dragon pulling China into the new global system. So this is a notion that we need a new story here. We have to have systemic changes, challenge the factory to far more flexible systems. Why is story so important? If you look at Brexit, the data suggests in every scenario it's a failure for the UK, but metaphor made the difference. The Prime Minister said, it's not fair. What do? You take charge. It's not fair. You take charge. She understood the emotional scale. She understood the stage theory of futures. If we look in the US, if you use words like welfare, your chances to get support for your legislative bill drop 40%. Because the Protestant ethic is active in the US. But if you use the word assistance to the poor or caring for the poor, the Christian ethic of helping others service takes off. So the words we use, the stories we tell, are directly correlated to strategies that succeed or fail. Of course, these narratives must be supported by systemic changes and measurement. So this comes back to the title of this speech, The Castle Surrounded by Hungry Wolves. In one ministry I was working with, the principals and the director said they felt they were in a castle in Camelot around a round table. I said, that's brilliant. They said, no, outside of the hungry wolves. Parents, teachers, media, students, they felt fearful. They couldn't take risks to transform the system. So this becomes one of the core things. How do we transform this castle surrounded by hungry wolves? With the Ministry of Education in Norway, they suggested move to the jazz orchestra, individual excellence, cooperation, and emergence. And the ministry conducts to make sure there's equity and fairness. When I worked in the Philippines with NEDA, they suggested it's too late. The industrial factory walls, the castle walls, we have to destroy them. This is the wrecking ball approach. We can't create something new till the old disappears. I've been working with the brilliant Brett Casey, again on narrative and strategies for inclusion in terms of persons with deafness. He says the old metaphor is I'm losing my hearing. The new metaphor should be I'm gaining my deafness. What does that mean? He's designing new integrated communities. He's rethinking deafness to become not a deficit, but an asset-based model. Another group in South Africa, their metaphor was bludgeoned by the present, so busy with the present, overwhelmed by the present, they forgot their purpose, their vision. Why were they helping the poor? So they shifted to a flock of eagles. They're still involved in helping people gain employment, but they're also part of the bigger picture, the larger discourse on the future of work, on technology and inclusion. So we have to rethink these fairy tales if we want a different future. My colleague Ivana Milojevic has written a book called Moćne priče. She suggests we can't create new futures unless we challenge the old stories. So for example, old stories they deconstruct, Cinderella, Snow White, etc., are all about passivity, violence, poverty, punishment. She reconstructs them towards cooperation, positive role models, gender partnership, and she works with students to actually, they take the old story and they write the new story. So New Ministry Education is about creating the platform for these global new stories. Now, which of these stories have potency, which have the possibility for deep transformation? So the 7th stage in Futures is the mantra that transforms, borrowing from the brilliant work of Dada Prana Krishnananda. He suggests that for us to make a shift, we also have to make the shift. We have to use the mantra on our own life story. Otherwise, we only see the world within our perspective. We can't see the world as it is, as it's changing, because of our own perspective. We have to bring in everyone else's. In this self-reflection, we start to change who we are. I've given this case study before, but in one room I had senior leaders and one junior leader. He described himself as an iPhone in a room full of Nokias. This is one of my favorite stories. An iPhone in a room full of Nokias. As we deconstructed this, he said, well, he felt different. Everyone was following the old ways. He understood the new ways. Partnership, participation, nature, new technologies. However, the old ways had power, so he felt different. Now, but however, as we went through this process, he realized he was just flipping the hierarchy from them being above, him below. Now he was above, they were below. So he redesigned his framework to the co-created chipmaker. They're working together. So if we rethink the future of education, it's asking what are the core metaphors of the student, of the administrators, of the teachers, of the principals, of the ministry. Each one has a narrative. For us to go forward, given that education tends to be among the slowest systems to change, we have to understand each of their stories and then make the shift. The student may feel left out. The principal may feel afraid to make the change because the minister may feel lonely given that he feels he's in a castle surrounded by hungry wolves. Professors, teachers may feel overwhelmed by how much they have to teach. Administrators may feel the change is too quick. They have to hold tradition. By understanding everyone's core metaphor and core story, we can become part of the solution, part of transformation. In this case, he became the co-created chipmaker. But then we went to mantra. In deep meditation, the chipmaker transformed to the warm sun. And then he understood it at the rational strategy level, it was about co-designing, co-partnering, the jazz orchestra, if you will. But at the deeper unconscious level, he had to shift from hierarchy to the warm sun, which he said was an expression of affection, of love, of appreciation. So this is, in terms of pathways forward in the futures of education, futures of Gurukul and humanism, is moving from injustice to risk management, to what are the alternatives? Where do we wish to go? How do we make that vision more real every day, whether by retelling stories, making the strategy more realizable, connecting with other groups, finding their metaphors. And of course, we need each one of us has a story that helps us on this journey. And the mantra can help make that metaphor far more powerful. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you wish additional information, there's a book, Crouch in Power, and a book, What Works. Both explore this further. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed this and hope it's of use.
Thank you very much. Great presentation again by Sahel, and it's spurred some comments along the way, but we have some questions, and I'm just checking in that, first of all, our attendees, Indradev, can be unmuted if they need to talk and need to ask a question. But we also have Sahel amongst the group, and he will need to be unmuted as well. Sahel, you there?
Yes, here.
And you're unmuted. Excellent. So how was it seeing yourself?
I don't know.
A bit unnerving. Okay. Anyway, we do have some questions here. Chris Kang, whom we both know. Chris, do you want to actually speak your question to Sahel, or do you want me to read it out? Maybe there's an unmuting issue. I'll read it. If you get unmuted, Chris, you can butt in. So he says, so how do you see AI and augmented reality, ramifications of the pandemic, economic disruptions, geopolitical upheavals, dovetail with contemplative pedagogies focused on the inner and ultimate meaning? That's his first question. He's got two.
I should answer.
He's asking, how do you see it all dovetailing into pedagogies focused on the inner ultimate meaning?
This is something we're all experimenting on. I know one school we met in January and ran a future session, and they developed their 20-year vision that was teaching through global problems, hybrid learning from school, also learning at home. And this they thought would take 20 years. I met with them again in June. They said we managed to take 20 years and do it in 6 months. And COVID-19 pushed them towards this hybrid virtual world. It pushed them towards teaching globally, and it pushed them towards getting out of their own narrow framework. So what they felt was a 20-year plan. In January, they said by May they had achieved quite a bit of it. At the same time, there's tension with the whole range of progressive Catholic education schools I've been working with. When we had 50 principals and the students there, the students all wanted the Tinder of education, meaning swipe right, teacher stays, swipe left, teacher's gone. Swipe right, principal stays, swipe left, they're gone. So what they're suggesting is they wanted to shift the model of control from principal, ministry, teacher to student. And then as the principals heard this and the teachers heard this, they were, of course, thrilled that the students, were pushing for power. And as they reflected, they went into shock. And the concluding kind of negotiated vision and strategy was, we'll use AI to enhance student power, but what's non-negotiable is the physical exercise and the spiritual deep contemplation. So what was attacked was the factory school as the foreman basically whipping people for 18 years. The control subject, we're willing to transform the control subject to the actionable subject, but we're not willing to negotiate the body, yoga, exercise, rugby, or the spirit, meditation, contemplation. So I thought that was a fair negotiation. So how this plays out, we're right in the middle of it. And so then moving on to Eugenio's question is, well, how do you then go to action plan? And this goes now to the culture of the organization in question. If they're a hierarchical organization, they take recommendations, vision, strategies, and they make a 5-year or patient power, using AI diagnostics to help make the system far more patient-friendly and future-oriented. Fantastic. At noon on the second day, the minister sends a call in and says, wait a second, what happens to my hospitals? How do I get reelected? So this is the whirlwind between the emerging vision and, of course, the reality of electoral politics and geopolitics. So the solution was we divided the room and said, okay, here's the vision. That's 2030. What happens Monday morning? So this is the action plan question. So out of the 50 CEOs in the room, 10 raised their hands and said, okay, here's what I want to work on. And in action learning, you walk with your feet, open space technology. Out of those 10 groups, 3 said, you guys are crazy, we're not interested. 7 groups, there were 7 groups created. What does a home hospital look like? What does prevention look like? What's the funding model for this, etc.? So now we had 7 working groups. As the meeting ended at 5, the head of the CEO said, every project now has funding. So people walked away with seed funding to create their future. So this is not action strategy by official, what the minister said, what the head said. This is action learning and creating reality by where the energy is, what people's passions are. And so that's what I think works far more better, because people are interested, they're excited, they want to make the shift. The goal of the organization, whether it's minister, Gurukul, whoever, is to support and enable that excitement. And those create cycles of transformation, which is far more powerful than just the official plan. The official plan is something, working with the government of Abu Dhabi, and they're forcing every ministry to do the 2070 plan. So that's forcing a shift, and I'm trying to convince them, don't do one more plan. That's going to get dusty. Follow the energy and see what happens. Within the Gurukul question, the energy comes from mantra. Let the mantra, Baba Nam Kevalam, or whatever mantra people use, whether it's Christian, Buddhist, Islamic, use that energy for transformation.
Yeah. Thank you, Sahal. It's a great response, and you sort of ticked off all the boxes, I think, in terms of the questions. There's one question, but where do we start? And I guess you've framed it in institutional terms, but the mantra takes it to we start with our own personal practice. Would I be right in thinking that?
Yeah. So if someone, like at the end of either a course or workshop, there's always this incredible energy. What do we do next? If it's the we, then it's the organization saying, where are we going? But then we all know very well, anyone who's part of a Gurukul environment, we're selves in this process. So are we selves that are part of the problem or part of the solution? So then I always ask, okay, imagine where you wish to go. What's your narrative? What's your metaphor? Then apply mantra to that. The mantra takes it from interesting idea and it gives the narrative, the metaphor that pushes one forward. It guides us where we wish to go. Yeah. So then we're not operating from the most superficial level of the koshas, the mind. We're operating from the deepest level. Yeah. And so that becomes the orientation. And that means self-reflection, self-practice. So both are always operating, institutional change and personal change.
Thank you. Finally, last question. We have a strong practice here, Ariston, and he's saying, well, what is, as a practice, I guess he's saying, what should I do tomorrow, Tuesday morning, when he gets up and starts the next phase after going through the conference?
Okay, so there's two ways to think about this, right? So way one is, we know if you accept the principles of Prout, we're in the final era of the world Vaishyan system. And this transition is going to happen, and it's going to be a world Kshatriyan system. We know that. So the issue is, what type will it be? Will it be just social evolution, or will there be leadership that will ensure the world new collective, disciplined, honorable system will have a far more spiritual, gender cooperative, Prout co-op bent? So the nature of the transition is what's at stake now. So the first thing for anyone involved in Prout is to ensure the natural evolutionary transition is not just from capitalist to a world government system. It's a world government system that has Prout attributes. So that's the first thing to do. To do that requires a global political party. So we have many progressive movements, but we need a world political party that has elections globally, because the transition can't be based on the nation state model. It's a world system transition. So that means you need a global political party. Now, the third part, of course, is personal. It can't be, here's what they should do. That person has to ask themselves, as Sri Sarkar again said, create your career in a nice way. Find a way where you take your Prout ideals that match the market reality of today and find out what's right for you to do Monday morning. If Gurukul is about empowering the student, there can't be a one-size-fits-all solution. We know there's a global transition. It's going to happen. We know we need a global political party. We know we need to seed local self-reliant movements throughout the world. And we know those get created by individuals making the difference. So whoever that person who's ever asking that, they have to start themselves and then figure out within the political environment, where can they best fit.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sahal. That's terrific. It's really appreciated that you would come and join us, drop in and answer those questions. But we need to keep moving because I'm
so much.
Master. So catch you later. Thank you so much. So if we're going to think about this through another lens, this is our turn now to sort of add a voice to what we need to do. And I'm just going to post something into the chat. I've just got to get the link here. We're going to just put that there. We're going to go, and I'm asking you now to really get involved. I ask you to paste Mentimeter into your Menticom, into your browsers, and I need to give you a number that goes with it. So I'll just capture that now. Wouldn't let me copy both at once for some reason. Control, copy, paste. What it might mean. So I'm going to share my screen and jump to, which one is it? Attendee Zoom. I think I have to open it up. I'll just do that now. Just make sure that I'm on the right page. There we go. So I'll just come back and share. Sorry about this. Yeah. Got lost in the crowd. Too many things open. So you should end up at a page looking like this, and this is where you type in that number, and you're going to be asked a question. And it's, what is your message to the future? Write a short message to the future. So you can paste the number in there and it will take you, I've got to get rid of the, is that the full number? What did I put over here for you in chat? Did I put the whole of the number in? Yes, I did. So that whole number goes in there. The meter doesn't like the control. Yeah. So that will take you to a page that looks like this. Write a message to the future. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to think about that. You can think about it particularly in terms of how Sohail framed the issue. Think about a mantra, think about your aspirations, think about your preferred future, and possibly also start, maybe you could map a little bit out about where the year 2100. I'll allow you a little bit of time and we'll start watching the page populate.
Could you put the link again in the, okay.
Sure. Just scroll up and get it, Dada. There it is. So you can see in the shared screen, it says menti.com there. And then when you put your number in, you get that. So the number, I'll paste that again as well. There it is in chat again. Currently we have 16 people working on this, 17 now. should have come up. Have people posted and there's nothing appearing on this particular screen? Check. Now I'm feeling anxious. It's not showing up. No, here we go.
Marcus, why don't you try? You do something and then
I did. I did it. I already tried, and it didn't show, Kalyani, and it's very confusing because it should just pop up here as text bubbles everywhere. So I'll just look down here and see if I need to do something else. Otherwise, we will move on because there's no point if this is not going to share. And I will share it afterwards when I work out why it didn't actually work. And we'll share it on the Gurukul, the Neo-Humanist website. Are you signed in? It's a very good question, but yes, I should be signed in. I'll just check. Because to set this up, I had to be signed in, but I'll check. Look down here. Show. Okay, so that's other stuff. No, I don't want to do that. I apologize for that, folks. Let's just see if it does it this way. No, that's for using it on my iPhone, that's right. I'm going to actually end it there, and I do apologize. It's supposed to have worked and I'm not sure why. I'll just check in the chat just in case there's a Mentimeter brilliant person there. No worries, Marcus. Thank you, Chris. Someone, very start. Okay. So let's keep moving because the next thing I know is going to work, and it's going to involve Dada Shambhavananda and I in a tour. So to bring a sense of what's happening, and for those of you like Ariston and Eugenia, to know what's actually already in place is often a good way to start thinking about the positive side of what's going on and what's available to us in terms of resources already that have been established. Because you've got to remember the Gurukul has been going for 30 years now, and many of us have been working in our own capacities to actually achieve that. And we're going to take you on a Gurukul guided tour in which Dada Shambhavananda and I will play your tour guides, okay? So I'm just going to share my screen, and this time there we are. So Dada, are you ready to join me on a guided tour?
Yes, I'm there with you.
I am very happy. So I'm going to be the driver, and much of it will be actually presented internally. So here we have a map, just like you are all familiar with. And we're going to start off here because Ananda Nagar is the heart of the Gurukul movement in many respects. I just have to pause that so that I can make it larger for you. And I'm going to show you a couple of minutes of this. Oops, hang on. You know what I've done? I did it. I always do this. I always forget to click share the sound. So there we go. Hang on. a second. This should be playing. And this... And I've actually clicked the right thing, so I'm not sure why it's not working. Let's jump back to the map.
It is working, it's correct.
It's working. Yes.
Is
okay.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And people hear it. How come I can't hear it?
Just make it bigger, that's all.
So Dada, where are we going now?
We will go to the headquarters of Gurukul, to the Gurukul campus.
আমরা গড়ে নেব গুরুকুল আমরা গড়ে নেব গুরুকুল
Which side we will go?
We will go to towards the south. And this is, we are now sitting in the central Anand Nagar. It's called Madhya Anand Nagar. You know, Anand Nagar is composed of 12 subsections. They are like mini Anandanagars. Like they have been given names like Kaushiki Anandanagar, Bhairavi Anandanagar, Bhavani Anandanagar, Tarun Anandanagar, Arun Anandanagar, Maloy Anandanagar, Shyamal Anandanagar, Shakat Anandanagar, Gopal Mohan Anandanagar and Gopal Anandanagar. So that towards the south, only about 10-15 minutes walk from here, is the Gopalananda Nagar. And that is the site of the university headquarter campus, where we will be building the Rural Medical College, and also the administrative headquarters will be here. And many different departments.
That's where we can stop that one, and we can return to the map. And sorry, I've got to...
I think you have time, you can probably.
No, it's this when we made we ran a test run and we got through all the things in time. So do you want me to play more of that data? Could people hear it? Because I
no,
can hear everything.
No, it's okay. You follow.
Yeah. So from there, we have a very special visit to New York, where we have the Global Liaison Office.
It is in Ithaca, New York.
Hello from the Gurukul Global Liaison Office.
Now, I still
the
can't
main
hear it. Can you
headquarters
guys
for
hear it?
Gurukul is in India at Anandanagar.
Yes,
And here in
you can
Ithaca, New
hear.
York, USA,
Thank
we
you.
have our liaison
And I'm
office.
sitting here mystified as well.
We have a planning board that meets regularly, consisting of 7 members from different parts of the world. The Gurukul Network newsletter and journal has been published from here twice a year for the past 25 years. It highlights articles from all the disciplines presented at this conference, as well as news of NHE schools and projects around the world. You can find the latest issue, issue 51, on the conference website, as well as at gurukul.edu. The Liaison Office also functions as a networking hub for Gurukul-affiliated institutes and schools around the world. GANE, the Global Association for Neo-Humanist Educators, provides a forum for NHE educators to develop materials and a directory of many of the affiliated schools and institutes and projects. Currently, there are about 800 schools and institutes around the world. There are many schools in India, Europe, South America, East Asia, Africa, North America, Middle East, Australia, and Southeast Asia. There are also yoga for children programs on every continent, and higher education institutes sprinkled here and there, including NH College, which hosted this conference. The Planning Board has been organizing and conducting conferences since 1991. This is our first one online. Please do visit our websites to learn more.
So that's a great resource. And not too far away, Dada, there's something special down here in North Carolina. Have you been there since the building was being constructed?
Yes, when it was being constructed, I was there. Now it has been completed.
Mm-hmm. So Sid Jordan, go on, Dada.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Sid Jordan was the has worked long and hard on this.
Welcome
and here he is.
to the Neo-Humanist College, situated in Asheville, North Carolina, USA. The Neo-Humanist College has been pleased to host this first global online conference. The mission of Neo-Humanist College is to offer a hybrid institution of online learning and in-person mentoring. This hybrid model will balance online learning with direct mentoring of on-site practicum work. The faculty for this hybrid model is drawn from many of the presenters at this conference. This newly constructed building for the Neo-Humanist College, located on a 33-acre campus near Asheville, is expected to be completed by February 2021. It is surrounded by a 150-acre progressive eco-village community with the Mountain Breeze Preschool located there. A Prout Research Institute is also planned to be located on the Neo-Humanist College campus. This is the distance learning lab where production and dissemination of courses will take place. These are the founders of the Neo-Humanist College of Asheville, located in Asheville, North Carolina, who gave the land and funds for construction. This includes Ellen Landau and her husband, Stephen Landau, and myself, Sid Jordan. The first course offered at the college this past summer was to enhance online learning skills of the faculty. This course was taught by Scott Brim and Theodore Fitchans and included Kathleen Kesson, Dada Maheshwarananda, Arati Brim, Linda Baker, myself, Sid Jordan, Reka Gregory, Richard Gauthier, and Eric Jacobson. The Prama Institute and Wellness Center are affiliated with the Neo-Humanist College of Asheville with a memorandum of understanding that embraces their common educational mission. The Neo-Humanist College at all levels offers an interdisciplinary, student-centered approach that supports a universally benevolent and sustainable society. Some of the first course offerings by the Neo-Humanist College will be for curriculum, will be for educators around the globe teaching pre-K through college. Following these offerings, a multidisciplinary curriculum of arts, sciences, and humanities will be developed. We invite all of you to join the efforts of the Neo-Humanist College in offering your skills to promote a progressive neo-humanist education to a world in crisis. Thank you.
So, those of you who are asking questions about what to do, these three indicate that what we have is a infrastructural vision. With Anandanagar building its university and multiple other projects, and organising or liaison office here in New York, in Ithaca in New York, then a college that is going to prepare and offer education across the planet. Now we get down to more local areas. Where would you suggest we go next, Dada?
Taiwan?
Okay, Taiwan. That would have been my choice, actually. So in Taiwan, we have the Taichung. In Taichung, it's a city in the north of Taiwan.
This is not the right one, I think.
I could not put the other one up, Dada, because hundreds of megabytes.
Oh no, then can Kalyani? No, maybe I can, because
I can drop out and I can share.
You go to another place first, and I shall share later. Okay.
Okay,
You
that's a
go to another place first, and I
practical
shall-
solution. So should we go to somewhere in Europe, Dada?
yes, sure. Yeah, Netherlands or Berlin or.
Okay, we can close in like this. There's a wonderful project running in the Netherlands. I'll make it bigger for us. Just texting this one, by the way, to using text.
Because you have given many workshops there.
Yes, I have. It feels like a second home to me,
Yeah.
as does your other home here, Dada.
Yeah, it used to be, yeah.
It's this one I can't show from here. We have to show it through.
Kalyani will show the slides.
It's too large. Yeah.
I can show.
I
So-
can show you from my screen. Would you like me to share now?
Yes, I will stop and we can look at both Taiwan and Sweden, and we can pop back into this one. And I can also check on my sound while that's happening.
Okay. Hang on. Okay, so I can share screen now?
Yes.
No, I cannot share screen. Please enable me.
Indra Dave.
Yes, 1 minute.
Okay.
I also can help share the screen.
I have it.
You can now.
You can see Dada? You can see Marcos?
Yes.
Is
it
my
okay?
screen coming up?
Oh, that's my screen. Sorry. You can go
Is
ahead.
my screen coming
Let me-
up? Has it come
Not
up?
yet.
Okay, wait.
Not
Let
yet.
me do it again. Yeah, let me do it again. Share screen. It's coming. It's coming. You are Shin's. All right. Do you see it?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, it's coming. It's taking some time to open.
It's a very large file. That's the problem with it. I had the same problem.
Okay. Meanwhile, maybe Indradev can also get ready in case we don't get this to open. But I
Yes,
think
I
just take some time.
trying to collect.
Okay. All right.
To collect.
One of the things we need with technology is patience.
1 minute.
Dada, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the Taichung building and center.
Yes. Just this year, they have completed a very fantastic 5-story complex in Taichung in central Taiwan. And they have 2 other places which are like eco villages type of places, one near Taipei and another one near that center. And from there, they are going to build a museum where P.R. Sarkar research building.
In like that.
And also they would be, they have already started now courses, and it will be almost like a mini a New Humanist College type of activities they are doing there. Training courses in yoga, in meditation, in New Humanist education, and storytelling. He does workshops with children and physically handicapped children. He does programs with them for teachers. And from there, he also goes all over Southeast Asia and conducts programs in China. He has many centers in China now linked with that center. He has published about 30.
Oh, it's open.
And this
Are you seeing it?
Yes.
share with
Yes.
small overview of some of the activities of
Can you make a full
There are
screen?
many involved with
Okay.
neo-humanist education and neo-humanist ideas in the society. And I was speaking
No, on the bottom.
I am doing.
This one.
Thank you.
25
Thank you.
years
Yeah.
ago, we started a kindergarten, and this school is still continuing till today with hundreds of children. And in this school, we mainly focus on storytelling and children's yoga and children's meditation. And these activities we have started doing outside the school as well. So we have often parents and kids programs where many children attend our activities. And these are very well received. Apart from that, we do teacher training. So we've been doing teacher training for over 20 years. And every year, whether in Taiwan, China, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, we give teacher trainings in children's yoga and storytelling.
Mm.
These are the core aspects of what we see as neo-humanist education. And many of these teachers now full-time work in other schools sharing these ideas. And this is a picture from China, where also there are several schools applying neo-humanist education ideas. Now, apart from that, we have bi-monthly meditation camps in the Gurukul Center in the north part of Taiwan. And this place is in 25 hectares of land, all surrounded by forests. And another center we have is in Taichung, in the center of Taiwan. And this is newly opened. And now we have a regular meditation class, teacher training. We have all kinds of different activities for children and parents and group meditation. So this is a very active center now, and it's very convenient. In the coming years, we are focusing now on environmental education, especially the Earth Lovers Family Program of bringing people and nature together.
He has published many books, you know, about 50 books, some more than that.
He's a wonderful storyteller and story writer. And I was there in 2014 and none of this was there. He had a concept with his wife and they were thinking about where to go and what to do. So this shows you, those of you who are asking about what do we need to do, like Ariston and co, it really shows you how we need a long-term vision and the stamina to actually work towards the achievement of that vision. It's really important to understand that that's the case. So this is the Microbiota Research Institute in Udaipur. This is not the one, Kalyani, that's in for the session in Sweden, the one for Sweden.
Oh, I see. This is the Udaipur one. I'll just show it first then, okay?
Yeah.
Is it going?
Not yet.
No, but I can play this one through my computer because it's already on my computer, ready to go.
So maybe you show yours?
Yep, I can show mine.
I try to look for the Sweden one, yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
let me look at the Sweden one, but I have to get out of this. All right, here it is, Sweden.
Okay, you find that and I will jump in and do this one.
Okay.
So Udaipur has been doing some great work. I have to apologize to translators. It's not an easy one to translate because the lady who does the text, the speaking, speaks very fast. So good luck to you. That's all. So
Is my Sweden thing coming up?
I don't know because I'm sharing screen.
Which one is up?
Here
Is
we
the
go.
Sweden one up or the Udaipur one up?
Udaipur.
Sorry?
Udaipur. Udaipur.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay,
Udaipur is loading, yeah.
okay.
Oh, what's going on?
And
oh, this
Marcus,
is, yeah.
Didi Devapriya sent you a message also about something she has sent you. So
Yes, I saw, and we're setting that one up. Andrew Dave is already working on it. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for that Udaipur now. There's a fault in that particular one, and it's causing headaches, and I forgot that. I didn't fix it, but I can show from here in a moment.
Society for Microvita Research and Integrated Medicine was established first time in 2008 in Udaipur, India, which is the first academic society. Dr. S.K. Verma is working as president and Dr. Vartika Jain is currently working as secretary of the society. Society is regularly publishing official bulletin BOMRIM since 2009 and first time designated 31st December is Microvita Day since 2009 and coined various new terminologies like microvitology, microvitopathy, microvitocytology, NAMID, and first time organized 2 international seminars on microvita research in 2012 and 2016 and also a dialogue on psychology of microvitology and humanistic ideology in 2018 and continuously propagating Shri P.R. Sarkar's contribution on microvita medicine and new humanism in various national and international conferences, seminars, symposia, scientifically validating some of the plants such as
we're not seeing the video, we're seeing the web page.
which have been mentioned in Yogi Chikitsa by Shri.
Is that true? I apologize again.
Can you share again?
I'm failing in my role as host, aren't I? I'll go back to the beginning.
There, now it's showing.
Microvita Research and Integrated Medicine was established first time in 2008 in Udaipur, India, which is the first academic society. Dr. S.K. Verma is working as president and Dr. Vartika Jain is currently working as secretary of the society. Society is regularly publishing official bulletin BOMRIM since 2009 and first time designated 31st December is Microvita Day since 2009 and coined various new terminologies like microvitology, microvitopathy, microvitocytology, NAMID, and first time organized 2 international seminars on microvita research in 2012 and 2016 and also a dialogue on psychology of microvitology and humanistic ideology in 2018 and continuously propagating Shri P.R. Sarkar's contribution on microvita medicine and new humanism in various national and international conferences, seminars, symposia, scientifically validating some of the plants such as small cardamom, greater cardamom, cinnamon, bhumikushman and semal, which have been mentioned in Yogi Chikitsa by Shri P.R. Sarkar for heart disease, hypertension and diabetes and published the results in various national and international journals, and historical work on semal tree was started first time in Udaipur city, and a first book on semal plant was published by Springer in 2012. Scientifically, the various medicinal properties of semal root was established, and the semal conservation mission was started as a new humanistic work, and plantation of semal sapling was done at various places. A novel concept of eco-friendly iron pole Holika Dahan was given. Also, conservation of Adansonia digitata tree was started first time in Udaipur city. First time we have analyzed 83 plant species mentioned in the Prabhat Sangeet, 57 faunal species mentioned in Prabhat Sangeet, and also first time initiated solo cooker workshops and recipe contest, and biopsychology based 7 days yogasana seminar in 2015. Join Smirim. Thank you very much.
So Kalyani, have you got these slides now for Sweden?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, I've just stopped sharing.
Okay. Okay, so share. Is it coming up?
Yep. You just need to go full screen.
Okay, I cannot see it. Is it coming up?
It's on my screen.
Oh, it's on your screen. Okay. Yeah. All right, because I can't see it. So I shall now present. Okay.
I apologize for the speed of the previous speaker. The translators were overheating.
This was a school building for all the football players, which many years ago we bought it, and then we have had since 2006 we have had many programs there, Gurukul summits, New Humanist Educators Summits, and Yoga Educators Summits. Since I was there myself for 14 years, and so this was our conference in 2006, I think. There's a beautiful lake nearby. It's a very peaceful environment. And I think Marianne would know. She has, I don't know if she has been there. So this is, we prepared the place for, but it is again waiting for people to come and utilize it fully. It is not being fully utilized. So we have many places we want to do things, but we need to get people involved.
It's a great resource, a potential resource. And, I think it's something that's just like many of these projects, they are waiting there full time. So we have, talking about Microvita, we have a Microvita Centre, don't we, Dada, in Berlin?
Yes.
Here we go.
The story of Microvita Research Institute in Berlin began in the early 2000s when we felt that an important aspect of Sri Sarkar's legacy was not sufficiently highlighted. I am referring to his seminal discourses, which had been published in the late 1980s in order to bridge the gap between science and spirituality. But instead of adopting the ways and means of science, people rather pursued a type of nature mysticism in those days. In contrast, we understood his messages as having the potential to upgrade and establish new dimensions in the study of material reality. In the beginning, it was Acharya Vimalanand Avadhut who started this initiative by opening a website on the microvita.org domain. Thereafter, a newsletter was issued, seminars were organized, and articles released. In 2012 and 2017, books on Microvita were published by our institute. Also, our Facebook website got remarkable recognition. Subscriptions have already passed the number of 2,300. Last but not least, we managed to get an office in Berlin, which is located in the vicinity of downtown district, easy to reach and open to public viewing. In short, we can summarize our mission as promoting science for service and beatitude.
There we go.
This is Dr. Rudolph, who also gave a session. He also spoke.
He did, didn't he? Yeah,
yes.
And it was. He's a very detailed thinker.
Yeah.
So we can return to the tour, which is just here. There we go. If I leave the screen, it gets stuck. So tour. So we're nearing the end of the tour, but we can go to the Philippines and we can go to Italy. So and go to Portugal. So let's start with Portugal. So Portugal, Dada, you need to talk about this because they only supplied me with the website.
It is a very recent development there because they have a big like eco village or intentional community of what we call master unit, and so they have recently they were coordinating with Copenhagen, Denmark, which is the headquarters of the Prout movement, and so they have shifted part of their activities in Portugal, and their first initiative is to have this Prout Research Institute of Portugal, and they have they have had some programs, and they published 2 books, I think. So and they also collaborate with with other parts of the world also, like United States and India and other places. So it's
right. It's inspiring, and it is a new initiative. So we look forward to seeing a lot more from them in the coming time. So we have a short PowerPoint here that put
This is in
together,
Chandigarh.
but the sound doesn't play through. Yeah, for Chandigarh.
Yeah.
The sound doesn't
Yeah.
play through
It's,
here, but I can.
Just, yeah, recently this center was constructed and they bought additional piece of land next door for plantation, and they have been. Rutger Taminga came from Taiwan and he conducted a workshop. Dr. Steve Landau came from USA and he conducted a yoga training workshop. And there have been also programs on Prabhat Sangeet. And so different activities, seminars are regularly conducted. You know, this is quite a good facility now. It has for Gurukul. Yeah, this is just. Yeah.
Amazing data to see how it's developed since I was there, because I was there in February when you just bought, and this was just wilderness.
Yeah, yes, it's just still in process. This means all these places, but I think by next year we should be able to see the greater utilization of all these places.
Yeah. Our last stop in this Gurukul tour, Wellness Center in Cebu in the Philippines. Again, they only have a website. So Dada, I can't speak to this one because I've actually not been there.
Yeah, I think Dharma Vedanta is also there here. Is he?
Yes. Is he listening to this one?
Yeah.
He gave a great presentation, I have to say.
Well, this is it is also
maybe you can unmute him. Is Dada here? He was.
Oh, okay. But now due to lockdown, there has been not flow of people there. But every year they have a training program, and it attracted 30, 40 people. He has started wellness centers in many places now. There is one, as you saw, in Asheville. There's one in Taiwan. There's one at Anandanagar. There is, but the Cebu is his headquarters from where he coordinates. And so it's, and then we also linking up with the AMAI, which is the Anand Marg Association of Yoga Educators.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So that in a nutshell it gives you a sense, the viewers who've been part of this conference, a sense of what Gurukul is up to across the globe. And it's quite inspiring to see for me, even though I know that these are, and I've been around for a long time, it's still inspiring to actually see what's going on. So there's lots of stuff in the chat, but I'm also very much aware of time. And there are a couple of things that we can sort of shift the attention now, shift it away from my poor computer skills, and onto brighter things. We have a lovely thank you video that has been put together with great skill and creativity by Didi Anandadeva Priya. And I've asked that Indradev, our tech support, he actually play it for us. So I'm hoping you're ready now. Oh, look at that. Off we go.
We'll show the video for thanking. Thank you.
I just want to say that this is a video to take you a little bit behind the scenes and to give thanks to all of the people that have been working tirelessly around the clock. So there's many people to thank, including the conference organizers and the program committee, all of these people that actually coordinated and brought this whole conference into being. But there are also just countless people working tirelessly behind the scenes. So this was a little bit to recognize their efforts and give you a bit of a glimpse of what it looks like behind the scenes of a big international conference.
Your microphone it's not on. Click on the button with the picture of the microphone.
Every time that Billy calls in, this happens.
Hello? Hello? Now we can hear you, but
Need more sound.
That's why I told you my parents.
That was deliberate, I think, Dada.
Look at how many there are. Okay, I turn
Very
it back over
nice
to you to
to see.
continue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
You
great.
missed your calling, did you? You should have gone into movie making.
I think we
Fantastic.
should let everybody unblock their microphones for a minute and give a big applause for all of those background tech support people and all of us
Andrew Dave,
amateurs
this is
that are
for
just doing
you.
our best.
Okay, are we all unblocked?
Thank
No,
you.
I can see.
Block everybody.
Oh, no.
Big
Yes.
applause.
Big applause. Whoa.
Good
job.
Yes. Very
Okay,
good.
maybe can continue.
Yes, we can. Can you get Arun's song ready for us, please? Andrew Dave? Aha! I just saw my good friend Divyendu. Nita. Yeah. So,
Can you unmute yourself? Yes. Okay.
what am I doing?
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. We are at the end, and at the end is just a new beginning. The amounts of conversation going on in the chat suggests that people want to follow up on all sorts of things. I was asked one question in the chat about Nihu's teacher education training. There are various trainings that happen around the world, but the Nihunas College in Asheville is actually planning on a new global course that's going to be available fully online. So that's something to look for over the next 12 months. But it really is time to thank you all. Thank you all for the patience, as so beautifully illustrated in Didi's fantastic video, as we struggled to get our way through that Gurukul tour. And I'm hoping it's going to go much more smoothly in the West session later this evening. But right now, we need to actually end, again, on a high note. And I'm going to hand it over to Indradev to play a song, and then we're going to ask Dada Shambhu-Shivananda to say some final words. So thank you very much.
Okay, Dada. Thank you. Thank you, Marcus.
No problems.
Did you want me to speak anything? This is Dharma Vedananda.
Pass, Dadaji. It was a beautiful rendition from Arun, who runs the Progressive School of Long Island just outside of New York, and he's been a gifted singer and songwriter, as you may appreciate if you've come across some of his other songs during this conference, as well as a gifted educator. So it's wonderful to have him sing that beautiful song, rich in meaning, at the end of our conference. And Dada Shamanda, I'm turning to you to actually offer some closing remarks, and then we will end the session with a big thank you again to everyone.
Shall I begin?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Well, you know, when we started this, the planning of this conference on September 6th, which was the 30th anniversary of Gurukul, you know, we were reminded of the day when when P.R. Sarkar founded Gurukul. And when he gave me this duty, he called me in his room, and his health was not good, so he was lying down on the bed, and he asked me to come closer. So I came closer to him, and he said, do you understand the scope of responsibility that I have given you? And of course, I did not understand, but I said, yes. And then he said, and will you be able to do it? I said, by your grace, I will surely be able to do it. And he smiled, and then he came to, closer to my ears and whispered. There was nobody in the room. He alone was there in the room. He says, I have done most of your work. So, and then he gave me some more directions. And that was the last time actually I saw him. And then he left his body, soon after, after a few weeks. So I've always remembered that when, that the work has already been done, but we just have to play our part and do our part, and the rest, the cosmic entity will take care of it. So, this 2020 Corona, pandemic, has given the entire human society a wake-up call. And it is an opportunity to pause, to reflect, and to change our course of actions. Now, if the world does not pay heed to or listen to these cosmic signals, but we as neo-humanists cannot remain oblivious to our sacred responsibility and to play a historic role at this time and do the needful at all levels: global, regional, community, family, and personal level. So at the global level, our new humanist leaders, thought leaders like, Suhail Inayatullah and Marcus Bussi and Dr. Ravi Batra and Craig Runde, and there are many of them, should not only name them, but so many of them, they have been working for many decades as the ambassadors of this new humanist thought on all continents. And so our voices are being shared in different, forums, in different boardrooms, in the consulting he does with different places. Through our publications, the message has gone out and it is continuing. And today, new humanism is recognized all over the world. People, just few, last year before Prabowo Subianto became the president, or he stood for presidential elections, I had a meeting with him in Bangkok, and we discussed about new humanism. And so I saw that actually there are people all over the world who appreciate our thought and who would be interested to take it forward. So we thought that on the the first centennial celebration of Shri Prabhat Ranjan Sarkar, we should begin that process so that we can, in a year's time, we can have a greater gathering where we can, reach out to all kinds of people, the famous writers and poets and academicians and politicians and all kinds of people. So we bring all of them and share our vision. And many of them are in contact with us. But so that process we have just begun. This is kind of a rehearsal, which we are doing, our in-house rehearsal to see what we have to offer. At the regional level, we have already decided to strengthen our regional supporting hubs that we have developed for nurturing the planetary leadership training and serve as the bridge between global and local initiatives. So these planetary leadership trainings, we are hoping using cyber technology, but also in our different master units or different hubs which we have created now in Taiwan or in Portugal or in Copenhagen or other places. So and even in Ghana now, I see these there and developing things there. So we hope that we can link up our global agenda with in this regional centers to serve as the nodal points of disseminating our ideas. then at the local level, we remain committed to do it ourselves initiatives. We are not waiting for the government to do or the politicians to take their actions. We feel that, wherever we are, whatever we can do at the local level, we have to continue with our grassroots, examples. This is how the founder, started with the education movement. And before there were just huts. And today we find there are big school buildings and more than 40,000 children studying in different parts of the globe in this type of system of education. So the enthusiastic participation of over 1,000 people from 83 countries in this conference has given us also much encouragement, and it augurs hope for a brighter future. We thought that, okay, we will have 200 people, 300 people, but we did not expect that actually the world wants it and is waiting for it. And even till 1 hour ago, people were still signing up and they say, we want to remain connected. We would like to know what is happening, and people are already, reaching out to us. So I think the time is right. This coronavirus, as Dr. Batra mentioned the other day, that we can see that it is, it is awakening all of us and bringing us all together. So I look forward to the continuous support and the pious contributions of each one of you and all the people who have joined us to establish a new world order on this earth at the earliest. And I hope that we can make this world a clean, beautiful garden of happy creatures where we all shall be ever ready to help one another, even at the cost of our own comforts. This would be the best way to pay our debt to our ancestors and the great masters of the past. And as Marcus has reminded us in this conference, we are the ancestors of the future. So let us leave behind a legacy that our future generations will be proud of. So we have work to do. And until we meet again in the very near future with much more good news and fresh perspectives and further concrete steps toward the goal of establishing a new humanist society on this planet Earth, my good wishes, warm goodbye, and thank you. And please stay connected with us and write to us through the conference website or through whatever way, you can reach out, share your aspirations, your feelings, and in what way you would like to stay connected with us and do things. We are hoping, this year, we have only printed a limited number of copies of the Gurukul network, but we can still, if there is anybody who is interested to receive, because it's not easy now to physically send things around the world, but you can see it on the website, of course. It's already posted there. But if you still want to receive a hard copy, we have printed 200 copies this time, and we'll be mailing out, And next time we plan to print about, few thousand or 1,000 at least, so that everybody can have their hard copy also. So, so with these words, I thank you all, and for all the things you have done by your presence, by your goodwill, by your encouragement. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Dada. Yeah, we still have 29 left, 29 minutes left, so we can.
Yeah, I think people can feel free to leave. I'm just going to post the Gurukul website for an inquirer.
People want to say some things, they can share, they can be unmuted, and
exactly.
they can express. It would be nice to hear from all the people who are present in this session. There are about 81 people at the moment present here.
Yeah. I was feeling worried because on my calendar it said I only had an hour and a half, and we've already done 2 hours.
Okay, I already unmute them. Maybe we can take a picture first.
Yes, we can. Sure.
Everybody can open your camera, so I will be able to.
There we go. Sorry, Didi, I posted it to you privately.
Are you ready? Everybody can open the camera. You can
Vivian,
follow.
come on, where are you? I like your
Yeah,
smiling face. And Nini?
Okay.
Ah.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 2 slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The third slide. Okay. Thank you so much. You can unmute yourself and maybe you can say anything what you want.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to be a little brave, but I'm shaking a little inwards. It has been totally wonderful for me to reconnect to these thoughts. And fortunately, I have Dada Shambhusivananda's book, so I'm very inspired now to start reading it. And I will definitely find a little place to contribute within the area of new economics, so to say. And I wonder how many were we totally? I missed that.
We had over 1,000 people have registered, but in different sessions, different people were there, so it was.
Yes. Okay. I will stay in touch, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne.
I just send the picture on the chat. Maybe you can download it.
Anybody else?
Anybody want to share? Please.
I think they're all worn out. It is day 4, you know, and and there are 31 behind us, and this is the 32nd, and they had to put up with a lot of messing around with 2 things that didn't work properly.
Didi?
Namaskar. It was a wonderful event. Really enjoyed it, and so nice to see so many people. And the programs were just fantastic. And I feel it is like the phoenix rising. And I think we will, we can continue this and meet again. And somebody said, oh, it's like the Gurukul television, you know, we would like to have this every evening, you know, just put on the screen and watch some very wonderful programs. You know, it is so enjoyable to see something positive come from the screen. So I think it has to just really take off. I feel like the phoenix is just shaking off the ashes, and you know it's gonna preparing to flap the wings. You know, I think we see a very bright future, and thanks to this karuna of the divine, we have come together in this way, which is like wonderful. You know, it's very hard to bring people together from around the world physically even. But this way, at least, you know, and I feel we're missing some continents like maybe Africa and some other far places. But in the future, we will really want to bring everybody on the screen at least. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Didi.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Of course.
I think I'm very inspired by what I have seen. There has been people from all over the world of great standard who have contributed. And I think this must be not only during the Corona crisis that one has this kind of online conferences. This gives a great possibility of gathering people from poor countries who can never go physically to a convention and meet. Someone's trying to call me. In this way, it must continue simply. And thank you very much for a great conference.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ole.
Please come forward.
Yes, I would like to share the impression that this conference was very inspiring because it showed that all these different aspects which exist in a Umaga and maybe sometimes exist without knowing so much about each other are combined here, and all the connections have been shown. And I got the picture in my mind that if you think about knitting something nice and you have some soft wool, it's quite easy. But here we have like strong ropes. Each of these aspects we have been talking about are like strong ropes with strong people. And to make a nice knitting of strong ropes, it needs a lot of energy and a lot of goodwill from everybody. And this is what I see now, that these very diverse aspects can meet in one point in the one ideology and the one goodwill of everyone. And this is so inspiring that everyone with every good intention can find a place in that network. And this really inspires me to become more active now. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Love that metaphor, strong ropes.
Just a little announce. So after this session, we have performs from art from Tara and Keya, and then after that, perform from Dada Divya Lokesh. Sorry. Divya Lokesh. Yeah. Sorry.
Divya Lokeshananda, yeah. The violin and sitar player, huh?
Yes.
I'd
Yeah.
like to share also. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
I'm working with small children. So usually it's like planting the seeds, but we don't see the fruit. It will come in the future. So it's natural that sometimes we look in our environment and all the news, global news, and get a little hopeless. It was my case. And when I participate in this conference, it really renewed my energy. I feel very optimistic. And I want to thank you very much. And I hope to be more in touch. And we can reach out each other and support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskar. It's Govinda here in near London, in England. I'd just like to thank the organizers for bringing together so many fine minds. Some of the people I have never seen, but I was quite inspired by, very inspired by Taiwan. I don't think I've met that person, but when I saw him, I thought, oh, I do know this person. And it seemed like there are archetypes around the world who are doing things silently, unknown, unbeknown to other people. And I think that is one of the aspects of our teams that we are working tirelessly, hopefully now united in a network of like-minded people. And I hope that it will continue, as most people have expressed, that we can inspire each other and revive this network. Mita, who is the head teacher of our neo-humanistic school, is on the last day of the school, which will close. But today, yes, we've applied for a nursery which was rejected, and we will reapply. But we have a building there, and the possibility of change and renewed global contact through this network is inspiring. And I hope you can all be in touch with Didi Nandamonica, who's the head of school, and WSS Berlin, who's been working tirelessly for years here in London to inspire her, because she is also working in a nursery with 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds and can't be here. So on their behalf, thank you very much. It was very lovely to see, and I hope it will continue more of this ad infinitum. Namaskar.
Thank you. And I just want to remind everybody that for those who do not know, that all the sessions have been recorded and they have been put on the website, and there is a small icon there, a blue icon. If you just click there, it will bring you to the YouTube channel where you'll be able to see it. So it will stay there for some time until we create our own places where we will archive them, and they'll be available for everybody.
This is what Dad is talking about. Each one of these is live, and we'll take you to the session's recording. I also posted the link in the chat.
Anybody else who is welcome to?
Namaskar, Dada. Namaskar. I'm Ibu Kirana.
Yes, from Bali.
So thank you very much for all people who organized this program. I'm really very happy, even though I don't understand all. You know my English. But one thing I remember, especially Dada Sambusiwananda, when you came to Bali. I am from Bali, but now stay in Kalimantan. So you came to Bali, the first time, we want to build Bali Public School. So Dada asked me, I remember 3 things that Dada asked me, are you sure you want to make school here? I said, yes, Dada, if by Baba's grace, if we can make the school different than others, so this school will be bigger. Yes, you are right. And Dada said, this school like a banyan tree. From the small seed, so will be big tree. That is the 2. And the third, I asked you that time, how be a good teacher? And Dada asked me, do you have love as a mother? So I said, yes, I'm a mother. I have love. So if you have that one, you will be a good teacher. That is the best new humanist. So I always remember that, Dada. So now you make this conference. So really, I'm very happy. I'm waiting for you actually in Bali. But now I can join this, even I'm far from Bali. Thank you very much, Dada. Thank you for all. Namaskar.
Thank
I'm
you.
very happy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ibu Kirana. Yes, we still have 13 minutes left. If you wanna share something, that's very grateful.
I should say that I think
Yeah,
although
Mark wants to say. Mark wants to say. Go ahead, Mark. Unmute, Mark.
Go ahead.
Namaskar from Germany. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, great. Okay, I really enjoyed this very much. I had not been in contact with Ananda Marga physically for a long time, but only through the internet. And now suddenly wonderful meeting is here, happening all over the world at the same time, and it's like 3 days continuously. It's really very amazing and impressive. And thank you for all of that and the inspiration and whatever comes next. And it reminded me of a silly incident I had long ago when I was I went to the Ananda Marga retreat in Mother Corona in Germany, in Mainz. And it was really nice. And then afterwards I traveled home and I was alone at home and I felt, oh, I'm missing this. So I bought a ticket with the train and I drove back and I came there and the whole building was empty. And I realized that it's really the people that make this so special. So yeah, I was already preparing my mind for the moment when this will no longer be active on my screen. Yeah, so I think it's really wonderful to know that we're all over this planet already so far doing such great things. And yeah, okay, I'm very happy to be part of that in some way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
I see Dr. Sharma is here wanting to say something.
Namaskar, Dadaji.
Yes.
First of all, I congratulate you. And I also thank you to organize this wonderful conference. And I also thank to all organizers who have contributed to organize it and all the speakers. The other time has come that world has become one society. We have become free from caste, creed, and color. Our nation is one, that is world. Our caste is one, that is human being. Our religion is one, that is humanity. And source of inspiration is Gurukul, because Gurukul is responsible to teach all the societies that what we are, what we should do, theoretical, not only theoretically, but practically. Dadaji, I am very much impressed to see the development of Anand Nagar, and we are sure that Baba is a God. Anand Marg is the best philosophy ideology of the world. And now from east, west, north, south, we are one. All are brothers and sisters, and 100% by the grace of Baba, by the kripa of Baba, under the dynamic leadership of a person like you, we will achieve our goal of life. Thank you all. Namaskar to all, and good evening to all.
Thank you for your encouragement to us. And so anybody else who wants to express their feelings, you are welcome.
The feedback is good for the organise. Who worked so hard, they are getting inspired by your inspiration.
Well, actually, there are already it has been mentioned, but probably people don't know. You know, Arati, she is the coordinating the Global Liaison Office, and her husband Scott Brim, he set up the entire this program thing in such a way that whichever part of the world you are, you can access it as the local timings. That was a big job. You know, we didn't have the technology and the people, but so many people have come forward. In the technical team, in the translation team, in the program committee, and we have broken all the barriers which were keeping us distant. And we decided that let us all come together under only one banner, which is neo-humanism, which is our common patrimony, and let us, let us really, become ideological rather than, being caught up in our own little things. And Amurth, Proud, and Gurukul, and all people have come forth, and even we got people from different streams, who were working independently, but as far as this work is concerned, they have all joined together. And that's why it was beyond our expectation that more than 1,000 people have joined, and every day till today, it is still continuing. So I don't know if Devi Lokeshananda wants to say something before he shares his music and other things, but you're welcome to. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, well, really, we have pioneered in a new dimension, in a new area. I think that's become very obvious. It's this new technology is just actually it's open, and I have to get adjusted to it, to digest all the intense sessions which had been there. I think it's a wonderful, really outstanding, great opportunity for a work on a very, very different level than we ever have done before. So this is really pioneering now, and we should see how we continue on. All those who have made this, and even those who have and see, I like to thank them also, because without them, it would have been also not such a great success. So thanks to all of you. It's wonderful to have this outstanding experience of completely something very, very new to me. I think it's new to all of us, and it's opening up in unforeseen potentialities and opportunities.
Thank you. Okay. I think any last voices, if there is any, because then we are reaching the. Abha? So in silence, we are celebrating our unity. Okay, I would like to sing a short song. This is the song which a part of Prabhat Sangeet, and the lyrics, the meaning is that the idea is waiting for the language to express itself, the lyrics to express itself, and the lyrics are looking for the melody to express itself. So, so the, so let me just sing it, and then Bhav khuje chilo bhasha ভাষা চেয়েছিল সুর, ভাব ছুটে ভাবাতীতে, সুর নাচে ঘিরে তব নূপুর, ভাষা চেয়েছিল সুর। প্রীতির আলোতে এলে ছন্দে ভরিয়ে দিলে, ঝংকারে মাতালে, যে হিয়ার ছিল বিদুর, ভাষা চেয়েছিল সুর। তোমারে চিনেছি আমি, কেন যে এসেছো নামি, নেচে চলো নাহি থামি, করে যত ক্লেশ দূর, ভাষা চেয়েছিল সুর। ভাব খুঁজে ছিল ভাষা, ভাষা চেয়েছিল সুর। So with this, I think we give our final goodbye to each one of you.
Thank you so much, Dada. Thank you so much, Marcus, and all the presenters for closing season is very wonderful. And let's thank you everyone. And let's jump to see shown by Tara and Kia.
Bibi rangkung abang duru sekalian bibi menjauman kelot kangin jumadane cegek lengser. Hello everybody, good morning. My name is Nimade Ayudhya Laksmi Divyananda from Sekolah Global Mandiri. And now I'm in grade 6. Indonesia is rich in cultures and stories, which contains good moral values. So today I'm gonna tell you a story from Bali. The title is Calon Narang. Once upon a time, in Girah village lived the supernatural widow named Calon Arang. She was very powerful. Her face was frightening, but her life was happy because she had a beautiful daughter named Ratna Manggali. Ratna Manggali was a very kind girl, but no men were brave enough to apply her because all people were afraid with her mother. One day, when Ratna Manggali was walking around the village, she was surprised because whenever she met boys, they ran away from her. A man shouted, "Hey, all of the men in this village, don't go to the girl, don't fall in love with her, don't marry her, because all of you can die by her mother." After that, Ratna Manggali fell down, sad, and cried. Then the wind blew strongly. What happened? Her mother came. She shouted, "Hey, all of the people in this village, I'm Ratna Mangali's mother, a very powerful woman in this universe. I'm Calon Arang. How dare you are! You make my beloved daughter sad and cried. So all of you must be dead." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Calon Arang was very angry and gave everyone a punishment. After that, the epidemic disease directly attacked all people in Girah village. There were a lot of victims because of it. They were sick and died. Only Empu Baradah from Lemah Tulis village can solve the problem. He had a good idea to defeat her. Empu Baradah asked his student Bahula to marry Ratna Manggali. Bahula accepted. The proposal was accepted, and then Ratna Manggali and Bahula get married, and they stayed in Ratna Mangali's house with Calon Arang. From Ratna Manggali, Bahula got information about the weakness of Calon Arang, which is Barong. Bahula, as soon as back to his village, brought the black magic book of Calon Arang, and he told everything to Empu Baradah. Then Empu Baradah summoned Barong to kill Calon Arang. In the last story, Empu Baradah together with Barong and Calon Arang had a great battle. Pew pew, psh, dwar, psh, psh, buar. And Calon Arang died. She had brought destruction to the world. Too many victims were died because of her. And Ratna Mangali and Bahula lived happily ever after. The end. From the story, we can learn that we cannot be easy to get angry. It will show a negative attitude from ourselves. And also, good always trumps evil. Until now, in Bali, barong performances are routinely staged as a symbol of good against evil. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you all enjoy my story. Bye!
Yes. We already see the traditional from Indonesia. So dance and storytelling from Jakarta. Jakarta is a central of Indonesia. And then 11 years old Keya and her 7 years old sister Tara will delight you with their traditional Indonesian dance. The Pupanjali dance is used for welcoming guests who are like to flowers. Keya will also present a storytelling experience of Clara, good against evil. They are from Jakarta. Okay, thank you so much. After this, we can see from Dada Divya Nanda. Dada Divya Lokis Nanda. Please go ahead.
Namaskar. Can you hear me?
Yes, Dada, we can hear you fine.
Audible? Okay, thank you. I'm going to play Raga Yaman Kalyan.
That was beautiful, Dada. Thank you very much for sharing with us your gifts, Baba's gifts. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
It was our pleasure. And now we also have someone else who shared to share their talent. It's Pritilata, I think.